What is up, everybody? We're doing a van tour, but this one's a really cool one. I'm gonna get the owner of the company. He's gonna do the tour with us here in a minute. This van is designed and built for somebody with a disability. We're gonna get all that information on how Mark here, the owner of the company, there's a big pole right in your way. Look at that. Built and designed this for this person and how amazing it turned out. So let's get all the information in this video. Here we go.
Blinded, we don't see the sunshine in Oregon very often.
That's great. Mark, you are my newest boss. Thank you so much for hiring me. I appreciate you. Also, people have been asking me if I'm only going to be doing Nomadik tours. I'm going to be doing other people's tours. I'm going to be focused a lot on Mark's, but I want to focus more on the DIYers. So, so happens that I'm going to be doing today's tour with Mark.
You're focused on doing everything for you, and then you're coming in here and you're helping me in the office.
Yeah.
You're not doing all my tours. But
no,
you
no,
are.
No, I'm doing tours. Right, I'm doing your tours, but it's on my channel. It's not going to be all Nomadik custom tours. Although, you've done 70 vans, give or take.
And you've done probably 50 tours.
Well, I'm not going to, well, yes, but I mean, I was actually going to say, the reason why I like touring Nomadik Customs is because you've done 70 vans, and 70 of them have been all different.
Yes.
So
we've never had the same floor plan once.
Unbelievable. So,
which I think is somewhat psychotic. Okay, so we're on a 170 4x4 chassis. We put a 2-inch lift and suspension upgrade through Agile Off-Road on all of it. Have all sorts of little things on here like air compressor, pedal controllers so you can get a little bit better on your accelerator, all that kind of stuff. So on the inside, we specifically designed this for a couple that spends their time in national parks. They work for the national park system. So they'll go to a national park for a month contract or a 3-month contract and then move on to the next one. So they have already circumvented the United States either once or twice, and they're about ready to do that again. The better half of this couple, she has a disability, so we wanted to give her a good solid grab bar to get in, and then also have a grab bar when she is utilizing the shower, which we'll show you in a minute.
okay.
And then also there's a grab bar in the bathroom, which is just the dedicated toilet and sink for the bathroom. So we kind of really catered this whole build around what her needs were and kind of move forward from there. So yeah, because we put this grab bar in, and you also have the handle up here, but she has a disability with her right arm, so she's able to kind of just swing in. And then once we get inside, it feels really compact, but they used to live in a fifth wheel trailer. And so we basically took 30 feet and crammed it down into 22 feet and tried to get every single thing that we could possibly get into this van.
So starting at the front, you've got, looks like you've got an insulated partition that you are...
Yep, so we make these in-house. Usually saves about 30 to 40 degrees difference between the cab and the rest of the cargo space of the van. Have a nice cab over shelf in here for all the window covers and stuff. My new fabricator, who's been with us for a few months now, put together this little shower ring, as well as the pull-up bar for her. And then we actually have not one, but 2 lagoon mounts in this van. This is the first one. And then you open up this seating, and then they have a bunch of storage stuff, which usually turns into what a shower turns into. But this is meant to be their shower box, shower curtain, and everything. So they move all this stuff out and are able to take their showers. We have our in-house made bug screens as well. This swings around, and then they have the front seats have swivels on them as well. So this table caters to both the front cab as well as this seat here.
By the way, I'm a heavy dude, okay? But we're gonna call a spade, and I was fully, like you guys saw my hand in camera, I was fully leaned back,
Yeah, that thing.
And it was holding me up easy.
That thing is sturdy, as well as this. I mean, this thing is very sturdy as well.
And Mark and I are not small people, all right? So it can hold us quite well.
We really tried to cater to her what her needs were and made sure that she was going to be safe in here. So, nice upper storage up here. We have a paper stone top with dual induction cooktop. We make these covers to kind of give the induction cooktop a little extra protection so nothing drops down on it and breaks the glass top. Our Servo GX power system, as well as Van Life Tech, so we have full radiant heat floors, forced air heating, and hot water, on-demand hot water. Van Life Tech is something that we've been running from the very beginning, and a great system for radiant heat floors. There's a lot of stuff out there, but the radiant heat floors here is like true radiant heat with a glycol mixture, and not only warms up the floors, but also warms up the cabinetry, everything in here. So on a cooler day, you can have this door open and it's still warm in here, not all the hot air escapes. We also have the Cruising Comfort air conditioner in here, and so we have the blower control, and then all of that is also run through this thermostat. Max air fan, so remote control for that. And then we have our microwave, a little 700 watt microwave. What's cool about that is we put this switch on here, so even when your inverter's on, this isn't drawing power until you're ready to use it. So you can just turn it on, microwave turns on. Dual refrigerators, they wanted a setup where they could take off for a couple days or load up for a couple months. And so you can run each one of these individually. Run one as a freezer, one as a refrigerator, both as a refrigerator. There is a little tiny freezer in here. So you can see they have their ice cubes and stuff, but you can also pull this out and make the whole thing into a freezer or refrigerator. Got a nice big storage drawer for appliances and stuff down underneath. Back here, my big guy, but back here we have his and her closets, and so full closets. This is where our air conditioning and heating comes out.
What's your AC?
Cruising Comfort, 24 volt HD.
Did you link it up with the
Yep.
So the thermostat for Van Life Tech actually runs AC and heat?
Yeah, I just said that, Jared.
Oh, was I not paying attention?
Do you ever?
Nope.
And then there's a couple things in here like a rifle safe and a couple other safes in here that we'll leave undisclosed. but it's his hobby is going to the gun range and stuff. So we made sure that we were able to get everything set up for her, and then also be able to make sure that everything was set up for him. While she works, he can go out and go shooting. Then this side, it feels like you're living in a hallway in here, and it gets really tight. But again, this is exactly what they wanted. And so this is why we went custom, because they wanted to try to get everything fit in, suited for them.
Well, what other builder would have done this? Like maybe three.
I think there's a few out there, but yeah, the whole point is going with custom is you get what you want instead of having to go with the floor plan. And it's worth the money in the end. And this isn't poo-pooing anyone, because there's so many great builders out there. But once you go towards a production line vehicle, the quality drops off. Yeah. And so going custom saves you money in the long term or in the long run, because you're not dropping off just from a production line vehicle. But anyways, this back here is their bathroom. We did a full black water and gray water system because they're actually coming from the RV world. Okay. And so that's what they were used to. And then you'll see as we trade spots, there's a little fold up sink in here as well. That was basically set up. The whole bathroom was set up as a toilet and a place where they could brush their teeth and do their stuff in the evening. And then this sink actually folds up like this. Okay. But they needed it this way just to handle her disability. So that's why we didn't put a shower in here as well. That's why the shower is actually out here and we have the bathroom set up. That all closes up nice and neat. And then we go back to the back. We're actually set up back here with kind of a little dinette. And they have...
That's your second lagoon.
Yeah, and so here's our other lagoon table that moves out of the way. The reason why they wanted this down here like this is so that they could put a lot of stuff on here during dinner or whatever, but then be able to move the lagoon table completely out of the way so they could get in and out of here. It seems compact and it seems a little bit, claustrophobic. But once you're back here, it's actually a really comfortable space.
Yeah, it's not bad at all.
And then they have all this room to kind of expand whatever their projects are. She's an accountant, so she's able to kind of get all of her files and everything sort of spread out that she needs to see and do, and then be able to sit here and work. When they're ready for bed mode, then we have the elevator bed that comes down, and then they're all set for getting into bed.
So you're not using the Happy Jack really anymore?
No, we moved to more of the Lippert Eurobed, and the reason why is just because the Happy Jack is this very square steel structure, and even though we have to square off the bed frames and stuff in here, everything's a lot more compact, so we're able to get a lot more done in here than we would if we had this big kind of metal frame front and back. A little access to the back in case they need to reach anything, and then we have an actual garage with a pull-out drawer and stuff in the back. Jerry, who's the other owner of this, actually also has likes to do a lot of projects and work on. He does a lot of handyman stuff at the national parks, so we set him up with a whole workshop table and stuff in the back once we get there.
Yeah, we'll get back there.
And then we also have these storage boxes in the back here. So everything fits to where the bed drops down. They were super thrilled with how this layout turned out. It's a little compact for me personally, but they were super thrilled. And again, that's why you go custom. Yeah, back of the vehicle, obviously spare tire. We did a full black water and gray water system on this because they came out of the RV world, as I mentioned before. So there's actually black water, gray water tanks underneath.
So you won't turn people away from that?
No, I mean, we have serious discussions about what the options are, but also we want to make the whole experience of this being something that's as close to what people translate in their normal lives. When you get into a van and all of a sudden you feel like you're living out of a van instead of in the van, and it's not your sanctuary, then it doesn't become an enjoyable experience. And when you start buying things that aren't customized to what you want, then we basically get to a place to where people get into it and then they're like, wow, actually, I don't really like this. Where our process is really set up to where we take every single thing in consideration. So because they came from the RV world, they were already familiar with black water, gray water systems and how they worked. Whereas when I started talking to them about composting toilets or dry flush toilets, they're like, we don't know how to do any of that. Even though it's simple, it's something that they preferred not to do.
Yeah, so, why try and teach an old dog new tricks?
Exactly. And, we make those considerations in every build. I mean, if you're putting a chest style refrigerator, but you've never had a chest style refrigerator in your house, then you're going to hate the chest style refrigerator over time because you're not copying or doing the same thing.
All right, really funny he mentioned that because I had a chest style in my first van, and then in my second van I went to door style because I felt more at home in my second van than my first van. And good point. I didn't even think about that until he said it out loud. You see how this works, guys?
How do you live your life? And then we figure out how to marry the systems to support that. And then we take the napkin drawings that people have figured out, and then we put our own experiential things to that. And then next thing you know, you have a van that perfectly suits the customer or the client that we're doing this for. And this is a very customized van. It's one of the more custom ones that we've done.
Nice.
So every inch of this was discussed with them.
I'm assuming you have the tire carrier because of the cruising comfort underneath.
Actually, black water, gray water tanks.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And
Okay.
the cruising comfort. So the entire undercarriage of this thing is full and all skid plated as well.
Wow.
And then they've got a very full roof as well, because they
Wow.
have Starlink, solar, skylight, and
How do they access the
roof
roof? A telescoping ladder?
Telescoping ladder,
Okay.
yeah. So, and then we put this box on the back. They have their drinking water hose, their electrical equipment, and then all their black water stuff as well.
Nice.
So open up the back. We put the Thunderbolt deadbolts on this. So this is actually the manual release for that. Full power system. You have your 120 volt and your 12 volt outlets. 16 12 volt circuits. You have 6 120 volt circuits. This is their entire black water system that's set up back here. So it's all the auto release valves. So you empty your black water first, and then you flush the gray water to wash out all the stinky slinky. And then we have like all of the analog lighting for the water tank. So there's a tank monitor, but we also always put a analog window so you can always see how much water that you're filling up with. And then, of course, the garage light, which is right here, little touch light, and then, like I said, inside, Jerry's a hobbyist, and sometimes at the national parks, when his wife gets the contract for accounting or whatever, he does sort of handyman stuff around the campsites and everything. So he wanted a workbench. So when we put together this, we made it so that he could have a nice workbench to work off of, but then also have all of his tools and everything that he needs to do the work. Obviously, he's got his work clothes there as well. And then put that back in, and then you still have storage space up here. So you have enough room for all the chairs, have room for some of their different equipment and stuff, and then we try to grab as many little cubbies and grab as much inches as we possibly can for storage. So all in all, they have this thing packed full, but it's great. They circumvented in the United States, I think, twice now, and they're getting ready to go on another trip. They're heading up to Alaska. So it's not like they've just stayed regional and gone up and down the West Coast. I mean, they've already driven this thing, probably 2 years worth of mileage.
All right. Question I get quite often is price and weight.
Okay, so weight, we were just at gross vehicle weight allowances for the spec, probably about 600 pounds under. But then we did a full suspension upgrade, put 6,000 pound leaf springs on the back, did a double shear bracket for the rear shocks, new struts up front, new shocks up front, 2-inch lift. And so that then helps the stability and cornering and all that kind of stuff, gives you a better stance, allows you to get back into some of the public lands, sort of off-piste, and still be able to get in and out and have all this, coming with you.
And price?
Price on this, I'd have to look, but I want to say that it landed somewhere around $195 for the build. They got a really good deal on the van, so all in, they're probably sitting at about $245, $255.
Because you're fully custom, it's really hard to actually give a price because you've done, let's say 70 vans, you've written 70 estimates.
Yes. Yeah, and we are setting it up to where we can get a little bit more information to people, I guess you could say, because of templating and all that kind of stuff. But when we start getting into like manufacturing, fabricating, welding, cutting holes in, putting in bed lifts, fabricating all sorts of different things, then that's when our labor costs kind of...
I mean, you also installed a black water tank, which is not easy to do.
Not on a 170. There's a lot of room on these. We've done them on the 170 extended before, but we've never done them on the 170. And this was tight. And so we had to do a lot of fabrication. So each quote that we write ends up being something different. So we kind of go for ranges. Like we start off at probably like 95 to like 125, and then 125 to 165, 165 to 195, and then 195 to about probably 215.
Yeah.
And then cost of vehicle on that. So basically you can get into a vehicle with us anywhere between 135, 150 to 300 and up.
Where can we find you, and how do we get in contact with you, and yeah, just all that stuff.
So you can find us at www.nomadiccustoms.com.
Nomadik with what?
Nomadik with a K. If you want to get a hold of me personally, it's Marc, M-A-R-C, at Nomadik with a K, customs.com.
Has anyone ever pointed out that you spell Marc with a C and Nomadik with a K?
Many times. In fact, I think someone even wrote a song once. We got all sorts of lovely people sending us things. So sometimes songs, sometimes real spicy comments.
All right.
It's all good stuff.
All that information will be in the description below for everybody for you to check out.
Also find us on YouTube, also find us on Instagram, also find us on Pinterest. There's a few different social media sites that we're on.
And the YouTube is about to get really good because I'm going to start doing some stuff with this guy on the YouTube channel. So you definitely want to check out all of that when it happens. Hopefully soon. We're just buttoning up some things and we're doing some things. So
yeah, I'm so happy you're here,
I'm
dude.
happy I'm here too. I'm here to complete the
It's
Nomadik.
so awesome to be able to work with your friends.
I know, it actually is. Just hopefully he pays me.